welcome to Forsaken, or I guess I should say welcome back, because this is a game that I've already covered on Vivid Noise prior. And as you can see, you can probably tell by my stutters and shit that this is actually a live commentary series. And why am I doing this? Well, frankly, you know, I love doing my scripted videos with the editing and stuff like that, but this is something that I feel will really allow me to put out a lot more content, and I'm actually going to take it, like, seriously. Like, I'm not even going to consider uploading any of this until the whole thing is recorded. You know, you're not going to see any of these Let's Plays until, like, I've got the whole freaking series for one particular game done, and I'm going to be splicing in different games. So what I mean is, today you're seeing this. It's a first-person shooter, obviously. Well, it's a 60 OF, but still, it's still basically a shooter. And then tomorrow, for example, you might see a 2D platformer, 3D platformer, whatever it might be. I was also thinking of doing racing games, but then I realized, holy shit, racing games are hard to commentate over, especially when they're not Mario Kart or something. You're not getting dicked over by items every 2 seconds. Like, it is possible. Air 12, Fail Race, Black Panther, like, it's totally possible to be a entertaining racing game commentator. But I realized something. They usually rely on, like, some sort of crutch, like either very heavy editing or, like, a co-host, like a co-commentator, like, you know, Maffey or whatever, or Ditch Vision, Ray Vision, stuff like that. And I don't have a lot of people that I can do this with. Not to mention that over time, I've grown to prefer less heavily edited Let's Plays. Like, the absolute best kind of Let's Play, in my opinion, is the kind that is practically free of editing, but the commentary is consistent, and that's what I'm going to try and do, you know? Like, I'm not talking, because, like, some people have this thing where they have a hard time coming up with stuff to talk about, and so they'll just cut into the parts that they do know what they're talking about, and it's just like, it's hard to get involved within the game when, you know, you're constantly jumping from one point to another in time. It's, you know, it's maybe just an age thing, because, like, when I was a kid, yeah, sure, you know, basically, when you're a kid, you like Nerdcube Plays. When you're a little older, you like Nerdcube FW, or, like, his less heavily edited stuff. That guy was a legend. I mean, he's still around. But what I mean is, you know, he was at his peak in, like the mid 2010s. But either way, yeah, so this is the PC version. I did the N64 version first, and, you know, that game's really impressive. It plays really surprisingly smooth with a keyboard and mouse because, you know, configurations and such. But, you know, with the PC version, that's just a given. Like, it's just gonna be a hell of a lot better by default. Runs nice and smooth. I'm actually doing this only at 30 FPS, although I've increased the bitrate, so you guys are gonna get a much clearer image overall. Yeah, 30 FPS because, I don't fucking know, like, 60 just looks kind of weird. I still can't get used to, like, watching 60. Like, it's been a feature on YouTube for almost a decade now, and I still don't like the way it looks, you know? Like, for me, the concept of 60 frames per second is, like, it's for playing the game. Yes, absolutely, you play the game at 60 or even higher than that, but when you're watching it, it's just so fucking bizarre. It's like the soap opera effect, you know? So I'm gonna be doing it at 30. I don't really think any of you guys will mind, to be honest. I mean, I should tell you from experience that certain configurations of PC, even to this day, have a problem with 60. Yeah, but anyway, speaking of 60 FPS, actually the PS1 version of this game that I've never really addressed is very impressive technically, especially when you consider that, like, a year prior, you had this thing called Descent Maximum. Well, okay, they had Descent 1 and 2 on the PS1. And those were originally DOS games, and they ran super smooth on DOSBox when you're emulating the right kind of CPU. But when they transitioned over to PS1, well, they got pretty good reviews, I'd say. Like, people from the time, you know, they were impressed, actually, by the technical achievement. When Forsaken came out on PS1, well, I don't think it plays quite as well. And not just the controls, I mean, yeah, they're kind of jank, but even when you configure them to be less jank, it's still just, there's like a stiffness to it, whereas Descent felt a lot more smooth, but frame rate wise, like, holy shit, have you seen this game on PS1? Like, it funnily enough, it's almost more polished. There's all these, like, extra little particle effects and stuff that you don't get in this version, and not just, like, the Nightdive version, because, oh, things get lost in translation. No, I mean, even the original PC version didn't have stuff like that. If you've watched, like, LGR's video and stuff, or even played the Forsaken X source port, which is very good. I've actually archived it on the Internet Archive. You know, I got an account there. I call it BKY Archives. I might just start going by BKY to be honest, like as in like the B key, like KY instead of like KEY. I think it's a little cooler that way. I don't know about that, but yeah, okay, well, we're almost done with the first level. So basically I'm gonna be just doing, like, for example here, you're just gonna see the first free stages, because I want the episodes to be about 20 or so minutes long, and it all depends on the game and how long each level is. I might make some exceptions. Again, I'm gonna be doing another game that is a 3D platformer. I don't want to say exactly which one. Oh, whilst plundering loot in an abandoned subway, you accidentally triggered the security mechanisms, locking yourself within. Now, not only must you find your way out of the underground death trap, but be wary of the rival bounty hunter who is also trapped in the tunnel. What that means is there's a bot, like a multiplayer bot in this level that will try and kill you too, but I'm playing on easy mode, so, you know, that probably won't be too much of an issue. When I say easy mode, this is a first-person shooter released in 1998 originally. So when I say easy mode, what I actually mean is still pretty fucking hard mode. And normal mode is really hard mode. And commentary. Anyway, yeah, and all the other difficulties are just impossible. And I've got God mode ready to go, like, if I need it. Other people have done it too in Let's Plays. Generally, it's more excusable in a more story-driven game, where you really don't care about what's happening gameplay-wise, you just want to see the story. There's this game called Ground Control, and it's actually amazing. It's this really weird, like, it came out in the year 2000, and it's really impressive. It has these massive environments, and it's like an RTS type thing, except well, technically it's an RTT. It's a real-time tactics game, so you don't really get to, like, you know, develop units and build your base or whatever. It's essentially an action game, except that you use the mouse for everything, obviously, and you kind of zoom around this giant map, and it's really cool because you can, like, zoom in and out, and it's all in 3D, obviously, but the story is amazing. Like, the voice acting is ridiculously good, especially considering that, you know, you wouldn't really expect that good, like, the voice acting to be that great from a game in the year 2000 that wasn't, like, AAA. That was not a AAA game. In fact, it didn't even sell all that well. I'm surprised they got a sequel, and go figure, the sequel probably in an effort to, like, try and make it appeal to more people. It's basically Command and Conquer. I mean, like, for one, it's way more traditional as, like, it's almost just a straight-up RTS game. You still don't have conventional RTS mechanics, but, like, the camera angle and everything, it's much closer to an RTS. And you got these cheese-ass characters, you know, all these stereotypes. They're all just dude bro, but with a modifier. So, like, you got the old white dude bro, the middle-aged black dude bro, the really young white dude bro, the girl dude bro. It's just, they're all the same fucking character. Remember when I said there wouldn't be edits? Yeah, that was a fucking lie. I mean, I'm gonna try to keep them to a minimum, but I totally lost my train of thought. But now I'm back. Yeah, so the characters are just so fucking archetypical, and I don't know. It's still a solid, like, you know, strategy type game, and it's got a ridiculously good soundtrack. Like, an incredibly good soundtrack. It has one of my favorite musical cliches of like, video game cinematic music, where, like, they have, like, these big choral parts, you know, like a choir, and then you have, like, this just fucking mean bass line underneath, and it's just, like, the atmosphere is just sick. You know, I made a track like that for one of my sessions of Ableton practice, as I call it, where I open up Ableton Live and I practice using it, because duh. I don't know, maybe I'll include it at some point. No, I was thinking of actually using that as, like, the ending theme for this series, but I don't want to do a repeat of Vivid Noise where I have, like, a bit of ending music. Oh yeah, I think I might have missed something. Let's go back. Yeah, I've made a little intro jingle. Definitely, you know, I'm gonna have this, well, you're gonna hear it first, obviously, with the little animation. Oh wait, this bit is locked. Okay, so I guess I gotta come back. Or maybe I missed something, I don't know, because I'm really focusing on the commentary here. But chances are, I might have just goofed, and now I have to go back. So let's find out if that's the case. Yeah, I knew it. Okay, so I had this part missing. Cool. So now we're here, and now we're gonna shoot these guys in the face. Yeah, that's not to say that, like, a shooter is the easiest thing to commentate over as well, not just because of the skill involved. Let's not pretend like this is the hardest thing in the world, but, it's just because, like, what do you say? It's like, oh, you got the shooting dude, shoot dude in face, oh, you got these mines. Okay, I fucking hate this. because the game just loves to randomly play. It's just go like, you know, fuck you, no, there's some mines now. Okay, have some mines in your face. And it's even worse when they start putting upgraded super mines that are absolute just Hitler dickheads. You know what I mean? They have this ridiculous radius and they spawn out of nowhere. Sometimes they use that to like punish you for getting too greedy, trying to find like a certain, like one more item than what you actually should be able to get. And okay, fine, I kind of get that. I'm assuming that thing I just activated is now gonna let me, let's see. Yeah, it's gonna let me go. God, thank God for this fucking thing right here, for the map. Thank you, Nightdive. That makes the game worth the price of admission alone, you know? The map. Because, like, the Descent games had maps. That's the weird thing. They had that shit figured out in 1995, so by 98, it's like, what the hell, you know? You'd really expect that to be basically a standard feature. I guess because the environments are just so much more convoluted in this one. But I mean, Descent 2's environments are ridiculous. Why do you think they introduced Guidebot? If you don't know, Descent 2 has this little dude they call Guidebot, who you have to free him from a cage, and then you can just basically follow him around. Like, yeah, you can give him commands and stuff so that you're not quite as reliant on him, but really, by default, he's just gonna roam around trying to find, like, all the things that you need. So he's gonna find you the key card, he's gonna find you the exits, he's gonna find you the reactor, he's gonna... Oh, shit! Yeah, also, one of the things you can do is place mines yourself, which, of course, you can run into and damage yourself, because that's great. You gotta remember to switch to something else. So you have Purge, Mug, Solaris. I have no idea which one is which. I don't really use them that much. I'm gonna destroy this because that fucking picture-in-picture is really bothering me. Yeah, where the hell am I going now? Oh, I can't go here. So obviously I have to go, yeah, I gotta go this way, and I gotta go back up now. Alright, we got more enemies to shoot in the face. We got some gold. I freaking love the look of, like, late 90s gold for some reason. The way they just the low poly look of it all. And the thing is, it kind of still looks good because you don't need that many polygons to depict what is essentially a slightly distorted, like, what do you call it? You know, a 3D... There's a word for it. A 3D rectangle. There's an actual word in mathematics for that shape. I have no idea what that word is, and I'm not even going to pretend to... There's the guy. There's the deathmatch guy. Die, deathmatch man. Holy gee, I wonder why this kind of gameplay never took off like Quake Free, pretending like that's still I mean, people still play Quake Live, I think. I don't know, I haven't played it ever. I've only played like the original PC game. Not when it came out, because I wasn't alive when it came out. Speaking of that, you know what kind of inspired this series? Do any of you guys remember Random Encounter? Alright, we're done with this level. Cool, hold on, let me just read the description of the next one. We're going to do this level, then we're going to wrap it up for this one. Nuclear meltdown is imminent. Deactivate all 5 power terminals in order to gain access to the reactor core. Radiation levels are high and the whole structure is unstable, so move swiftly as there is a limited amount of time before the whole... Game talk, time limit. That's what this means. Oh, no. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, remember, so basically... You know GameStop, the thing that reviews games, and they had these absolutely nostalgic banger reviews from back in from like the early 2000s with Greg Casa something, I forgot his full name. He's a game developer now. Yeah, well basically, this dude Danny O'Dwyer, who you might know now from NoClip, he had this series called Random Encounter, not to be confused with like Random Encounters, that one of those fucking Baldi's Basics ass like music things. No, I mean like Random Encounter. It was this really awesome live streaming show. They would do these highlights on the main channel and sometimes just upload the entire stream as well. And yeah, they did a video on... God damn it, I forgot that sucks you in. They did a video on Quake Free, and it was really cool because they went through like everything Quake Free related possible. Like they went through the original game, they played it for a bunch, and then they played Team Arena, which was like the, to quote him, the crap expansion pack. Yeah, it was a little weird. It was mainly too little too late, because a lot of the stuff in that were just, you could just mod it, to be honest. Just like, why would you pay money for something you could just mod? And then they did Quake Live, but that was, again, that was like 10 years ago. I'm talking like 2013, 2014, you know? I mean, if you know that series, it's most likely from the infamous Hatoful Boyfriend series. It's this weird, like, It's supposed to be a pigeon dating sim, but it's not. What it really is this incredible, this epic tale of multiple interweaving plot points and characters, and it's fucking insane. Because there's all this like stock music being used, and it was hilarious. You gotta look it up. Just look up like random encounter Hatoful boyfriend or something like that. And there's this guy called, I think, Kim Mac. I don't remember the exact username, but that absolute legend. They've uploaded most of the full streams. Now, unfortunately, as you would expect, the Grand Theft Auto Vice City one they did is pretty much unwatchable. It's muted. Like, you can't really hear anything because, I guess YouTube doesn't want him singing Toto by Africa. Because that's how it goes. I know it's Africa by Toto, but the point is, yeah. Funny thing that the original is still up on the GameSpot channel, so I guess the editing makes it not quite as egregious to the copyright bot. You know, I think I know what the problem is, because Danny actually low-key is kind of a good singer. Like, when he sings in that video, like, I know it's like a joke, but like, he's actually like perfectly in key. He sings totally dead on, you know? Like a fucking studio recording, you know what I mean? It's ridiculously accurate, and that might have been what tipped it off, you know, what tipped the scale there in the copyright. If he was like singing all badly and jokey YouTuber-y, then it might have actually been fine, but it was actually perfectly locked in with the lead vocal of whatever song he's doing, and that might have been like the end of it, you know? It was like, ah, shit, that's like literally the exact same. You can't do that, you know? You can't sing the song, dickhead. So anyway, but yeah, that was a great series, honestly. He even tried to like sort of kind of bring it back on his main channel. Well, he never really did. He did it with like Doom Free, I think. And I think my recent discovery of that series is kind of what gave me a taste for the, you know, less heavily edited. I mean, of course it wouldn't be heavily edited because it was a live stream that they then made, you know, highlight clips of. But am I gonna fucking... Okay, you know what? Ha 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 ha! There you go. Good thing it's not cap sensitive, because I would have had to stop the recording because I've configured caps lock to my recording button. Fortunately, not many games use caps lock, probably because they don't want... Yeah, I'm gonna use God mode. I just do not give a shit at all. You're not here to watch, like, expert legitimate play. You're here to watch me talk over this game that not a lot of people have played. A lot of people have done videos on, individual videos on, and a couple people have done like a playthrough of, some with commentary, some without, and I don't know. I really like this game, and I was just thinking like, okay, I want like variety in my YouTube series. Like, okay, I want like a first-person shooter, I want a platformer, and I was thinking again, I think I already talked about this, I wanted a racing game, but those are really, really, really difficult to commentate over properly. So I decided, you know, I'm not gonna do that because it's impossible. Like, I was getting bored just playing Dirt. I was thinking of doing Colin McRae Dirt, the original. And just as I was playing it and like I was fake commenting it, you know, I wasn't actually recording or anything, because what am I gonna waste the fucking hard drive space on that? No, I was practicing basically. And wow, I entered the what the hell do I talk about mode very early on. Not to say that doesn't happen here, but like I've got way more to work off of just by virtue of the kind of game that this is. You know, I can commentate over like, oh, the difficulty, this is very annoying. Wow, the music in this game is actually insane, by the way. And I love how I have this redundant invulnerability pickup because I have God mode on, and I'm not going to disable it until... frankly, I'm probably just not going to disable it until the next level, which for you guys will be the next part, which will be in a few days, because... Oh shit, another bot! Look, deathmatch. Yeah, so you see why this didn't really take off quite as much, because it's really freaking difficult to properly play a game like this, because it just, you know, because in a regular shooter, you only really have one axis, I guess, to sort of move, you know, like left and right and like maybe up or down sometimes. Here you got all of these degrees of freedom, as they call it, you know, that's their marketing thing. And because of that, deathmatch gameplay is just ridiculously hard to get right, or to even be fun and to be competitive in it and stuff. I remember watching this this really great video on the engine development of Quake Free. It wasn't some like documentary, it was actually a recording from 1999 of one of the developers on Quake Free, not John Carmack, but someone else, talking about the engine, just generally how they render certain things, and you know, the tricks they use and the tricks they didn't use to make it better. And he then started talking about the competitive scene. It was really this really great thing because apparently at the time Descent had a pretty strong competitive scene. You know, he was talking about how like he would try and attend all these different like LAN party deathmatch things, and he would just get destroyed because, you know, the whole like, what was it, big fish in a little pond thing, where you think you're the best because like, oh, I beat all my friends, but then like, oh no, wait, these guys are like way better. Yeah, that kind of thing. So it's really no surprise that this kind of game isn't super popular anymore. I totally get the single player appeal, to be honest, and I'm really glad that there are still games of this kind being made, one of which is actually made by the original, I think was made by the original developers, or at least some of them, from the original Descent games, you know? I think they called it Overload, I think that was the name of it. There was also a genuine Descent successor that was called like Descent something, Descent Underground or something like that. I'm not sure if it's as good. It wasn't made by the original developers. That's not a death sentence for a game, honestly. I mean, plus, remember Yooka-Laylee, right? Okay, that game isn't terrible, but just because you got the original guys, it doesn't guarantee that it's going to be a great game. It's really not about that. It's about, like, right time, right place, ooh, because I have God mode, you know what I could do with this? See, what you're supposed to do is, like, take them out really carefully, and you're supposed to stay on this thing, or you can just do that, which is pretty awesome. And I'm not getting any annoying bleeping noises telling me that, oh, you're supposed to stay on the fucking thing. Yeah, I know. I have no idea why they put this in. This is like the only time you ever have to do this in the game, by the way. I imagine one of the developers maybe like figured out, like, guys, look, I made a thing where, like, a condition where if you stay on, like, if you're touching a particular piece of the geometry, it can trigger something else in the level. That's really cool, ain't it? Yeah, sure, Jake. Alright, put that in the game. But how do we work it in naturally? Well, let's see, we have a sci-fi aesthetic, so make it like a laser beam thing, and just force the player to stay on it. Cool, that's really great. Yeah, that's a really fun game mechanic. Yes, that opens. Okay, this is one of those levels that like has Men in Black syndrome, I call it, where like my memory of the level gets completely wiped when I'm done with it, because I can never fucking remember what to do. Now I know. There you go. Yeah, because I practiced this last night. So, because what I think I'm gonna do a let's play without practicing the levels. Well, I mean, to be honest, I'm at some point gonna start having to do that, because like if I want to keep the content going, sure, I probably would, but I mean, I wouldn't play the kind of game that I can barely play. For example, okay, I'm just gonna give it away. Basically, I'm gonna be playing Mario Sunshine and Mega Man 11 as well. Those are gonna be the other two games. And for Mega Man 11 specifically, I'm gonna need to fucking practice some more. I practiced Blockman and Acid Man. I'm gonna be going in the typical weakness order. And yeah, I'm gonna have to practice a lot there, because Blockman's stage, like, Blockman's pretty easy, but his stage gave me some shit, to be honest. Those fucking falling block sections, because you gotta like jump in like the middle, like as they're falling, and it's really weird. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for this episode. Yeah, okay, that's the end of the level. All right, let's stop it right there. We don't want to give away too much because you know, the game shows you a little preview of the next level. Yeah, so that was basically the first episode, as I just said, and we're just going to keep going through. Tomorrow you're probably going to see something like either Mega Man 11 or Mario Sunshine. I'm just going to give it away right now. Those are the other two games that I've got planned. I want to keep this varied, you know, a shooter, 3D platformer, 2D platformer, no racing games, even though I'd love to do them, but like, goddamn, they are hard to commentate over. I don't know, maybe a Mario Kart at some point, or Sonic All-Star or something like that, but you know, one of the more exciting ones, conventionally exciting, because like they're fun to play, not super fun to watch, to be honest. But yeah, other than that, that's basically it for the first episode, and I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow.